Listen, other love. Any problem, question the ruler. ¿Es good? ¿Es good? Pues ya saben cuáles son las reglas. Todo eso. Choquen los guantes y suelten. Good luck.
What we're watching for is whether Tito has made any changes, and secondly, how he will deal with being tagged a good shot if that happens.
Most importantly, you got to understand, guys go back to the gym after a knockout, and it's not the body that needs to be in shape. Something happened inside that head. How do they get that back in shape? That's a job of a real trainer.
Tito's trainer, of course, is his father. His father, who was not entirely forthcoming with Tito down the stretch of the fight against Hopkins, seemingly painting for Trinidad from round to round a rosier picture of the fight than was the picture in the minds of ringside observers.
You know, after you've been knocked out in a fight, I mean, truly devastated, you're never the same. It takes years before you're really back on your feet again. So Trinidad is out there boxing with some ghosts, and those ghosts are in his head, and that's not going to be easy to exercise tonight.
Even a fighter as resolute and confident as Tito Trinidad.
It takes everything away from you. Not only do you lose your title, you're devastated. And it takes a moment, it takes a fight or two to get yourself back to where you were.
Cherifi is normally a very busy fighter, but he's being a very careful fighter here.
What Felix Trinidad had originally was he was a daredevil. He didn't respect anyone. You take a little bit out of the way and you give the other guy some respect, they turn into someone else. So you see that was a right hand by Trinidad, and he stayed right in front of Cherifi. Got to throw that right hand and move away one side or the other.
Cherifi shows a tendency to back straight up when Trinidad goes at him.
That was the first headshot. Trinidad didn't flinch.
Cherifi not regarded as a big power puncher. Trinidad seems to just want to land some punches here in the first round. Hasn't really opened up on any of his shots.
You see, once you've been knocked out, every shot you get, you have to question yourself. Is this another one of those? Am I going to be knocked down again? You ask yourself that over and over again, where beforehand that question did not exist.
Saw Trinidad snap Cherifi's head with a right-hand shot, his biggest punch of the fight so far.
Of course, George, there's also the question about how Cherifi's going to take that first big shot.
I don't think that Cherifi's got nothing to worry about. He's in a win-win situation. You make a champion and a puncher like Trinidad, take his time, you've got it made.
Well, but he's always been a stalking fighter. He's never been an over-anxious fighter.
And he used to have significant trouble getting knocked down in the first few rounds before coming on. As we go to the corners, in Tito's corner they speak Spanish. The interpreter is Ray Torres. When we come across the ring, in Cherifi's corner where they speak French, our interpreter is Thierry Gourjon.
How do you feel, Tito? You're fine, doing fine. You're boxing well. Yeah. Okay, keep your hands up. He's going to throw an overhand, right?
Hacine, you have to move. Keep your hands up. Don't stay still. Hit and get away. Use your right. Use your right. Okay? You're doing okay. Just move.
Second round.
CompuBox numbers in round one. Trinidad, 9 of 29, economical with his punches, as is his norm. He tends to throw fewer punches than other middleweights, focusing on the power shots. Cherifi 5 out of 38. Only 38 punches thrown by Cherifi in round one. Cherifi is a guy who against most opponents will throw between 70 and 80 punches per round. But it's hard to do that against big punchers.
Trinidad has already started to integrate a little footwork into his stuff. He does not need it. It's a slight move that he needs. Not a whole lot of backing forward.
And the first sizzling Trinidad left hook, the signature punch, fell short. Trinidad tapping with the jab. Cherifi reaching with a straight right hand. Trinidad, and it sets up a left hand upstairs.
Trinidad better be careful trying to bob and weave a guy who doesn't have his height advantage. You got to get down there where he can hit you with stuff. He does not need to be bobbing and weaving. Just go for it, moving your head side to side. Don't go down. Time he gets low, he gets touched.
Left hook landed for Trinidad. That's what brought the noise from the crowd. Another left hook inside. None of these the kinds of laser shots that devastated William Joppy in Trinidad's first middleweight appearance. But nevertheless, enough to knock Cherifi back and off balance. Another left hook. Trinidad beginning to loosen up his money punch.
At the same time, though, when he lands a good shot, he goes forward. He does not continuously move from side to side. That's where the danger can happen. You move side to side continuously, do it even if you hurt the guy. The head is not the same once you've been knocked down like he was.
So you see no major technical adjustment in the wake of the Hopkins fight. Still just doing basically the same things he's done before.
Well, he got a little movement going now, but if he hits one shot, he stands to stick his head up and goes straight at you.
Is that a mark of how much he believes in his power?
No, you want him to realize the power that he has.
This is the second season of On the Record with Bob Costas, and if you recall, there was one program in season one with a particularly memorable exchange. Wrestling czar Vince McMahon took on Bob Costas.
Someone else, right?
These things don't happen. They haven't happened.
You want to let me finish here for a second, pal?
I'm asking you the question.
Then coach, shut your mouth and let me answer the question, all right? I'll be happy to answer.
Next week, Bob gets right back into the WWF as Vince McMahon will come back for another live confrontation. On the Record, each Thursday at 10:30 p.m.
Okay, move your ways. He's just throwing an overhand left. We can't be too careful about that, but you know, just move around, Tito.
Hacine Cherifi opened up and threw 60 total punches in the second round, and as the result, Felix Trinidad was able to land 16 of 26 power shots, 62%. That's a pattern we should see throughout the fight. The more Cherifi throws, the easier it is to hit him. Trinidad on the left temple. That's the kind of punch that Hopkins bothered him with so much throughout the fight in New York.
No, because he's standing right in front of the guy, he gets it. And once you've been dropped, when you get hit with those little light shots like that, it's a hard time for your mind to distinguish, is this the same fight or what? Same thing's gonna happen to me or what? a little skill and experience work for Trinidad. Used to be all strength and power, destruction. You've got to add that to your repertoire sooner or later. It may as well be now.
He used to be what I would call, George, a puncher-boxer rather than a boxer-puncher. He's now adding a little bit more boxing and movement to his repertoire.
Cherifi taps Trinidad with the left hand.
That Cherifi has got arms like a crab there. He sticks those things out there, throw you out of range, he can still hit you.
Trinidad was open for the right hand. Cherifi missed and hit him a glancing blow.
Trinidad had better do something to the body. He's allowed Cherifi to just escape any damage to the body.
Felix may have gotten the confidence in round 2 to believe that he was on the verge of doing something big upstairs. There's the left hook to the body.
Yeah, he's trying to get it in.
He caught Cherifi off balance. That was not a punch that seriously hurt him.
Trinidad moved his head that time, and he moved to the side. Oh, he got hurt that time. Cherifi hurt him.
With a right hand.
A right hand. It wasn't much, but it hits that little shaky spot that exists in your head.
May have been one of the better boxing rounds of Felix Trinidad's career. I say boxing because he threw 26 jabs, and I don't know when we've ever seen him throw that many. He landed 17, and it set up the power shots and helped produce the knockdown. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim, 30-26, 3 rounds to nothing, Felix Tito Trinidad. You know, Jim, you got to give him an extra point in the 3rd round for the knockdown, but I got to tell you something. It's very easy to judge a Felix Trinidad fight because when you watch him throw that left jab, Cherifi's head usually either snaps back or he gets knocked back. In other words, the judges should have no trouble, in feeling the power of Felix Trinidad. We just saw it right there.
Not just the judges. I mean, I don't know what loss of senses you'd have not to feel Trinidad's power. That's one of the most obvious things in the arena.
You got to be careful if you're Trinidad, because after a knockout that he suffered, you can be knocked down with anything. Ordinarily, you wouldn't be.
And Cherifi keeps trying to counter with the straight right hand, well aware of which punch it was Trinidad couldn't stop in New York. But here comes Tito, jabbing and jabbing again to set up another power shot. And there's a brilliant combination. And that left hook was an explosion.
Trinidad is back. Back on the block.
I can't say that I've seen him flinch from anything, really. Been hit a few times, which is good. But this is vintage Trinidad right here.
There was a vicious body shot with the left hand, and Cherifi is hurt again as Felix tries to set up the finish. One more body punch.
Achimo told me once you knock these guys down, you better be careful, because that's when they're at their most dangerous.
Well, certainly Tito isn't thinking defense at this moment. Almost a minute still to go in the 4th, and there's a huge right hand and another devastating left hook. 3rd knockdown of the fight. And Cherifi shows tremendous courage.
And Cherifi waves his hand as if to say, cheer for your hero, that was a great shot.
You should look back at that film, because Trinidad hurt his left hand. Sitting there flinching it hurt.
You think he hurt it with that last big left hook?
That hand was hurting.
Maybe not as bad as Cherifi's head was hurting.
Oh, it didn't hurt at all.
You say he didn't feel a thing?
Didn't feel a thing. Oh, painless Felix Trinidad, painless.
Once Tito began to use the jab to set up his power punches in the third round, he was devastatingly effective.
And if I'm an opponent of his, I'm going to watch that when he hurt his left hand. That's a very important thing now.
Well, we're going to look at the replays here in a second, George, and you'll be able to show us perhaps the moment where he flinched from the impact with the left hand.
So you see that hand wrapping idea is more than a necessity. He better do it.
Absolutely. Tito closed the show, landing 14 of 30 power shots there in that round. It's another knockout victory, the 34th of his career. First knockdown of the round. There were two.
That's that left hand that got it. Look at him traveling backwards. That left hand did it.
Sensational left hook there. Boom. Now there'll be another left hook devastation coming up here. That's still knockdown number one, the third different angle of that knockdown. And is this one more of knockdown one? Yes. Showing you every replay angle.
Right on the button.
And I think we've got one more replay of knockdown number one. Ah, yes, let's see it from upstairs. Boom. All right.
That means he's as courageous as a matador. He stayed right in the pocket.
Now here's knockdown number two. And this is where the left hand may have been damaged, George.
That hurt both guys.
Perfect shot.
They don't show him going back to the neutral corner and shaking that hand. Ooh, that's Trinidad.
Right on the point of
knockout. El ganador por knockout técnico, Felix Tito Trinidad.
Final CompuBox numbers. And you will see that Felix Tito Trinidad, who normally throws about 40 punches per round, was right there, even a little below that, focusing mostly on power punches. Landed 81 of 166 overall, landing 47 more, throwing 23 less. Cherifi with the low connect percentage. Power shots, and you'll see that Trinidad, as is customarily the case, was devastatingly accurate with his power punches, landing almost 50% of them. And of course, the effectiveness of the left hook speaks for itself. But maybe the biggest wrinkle I saw was that in the last two rounds, Felix set up his devastation with the jab and boxed and moved more than has been the case.